Every strong man you admire has fallen harder than you could possibly imagine. People see a man's strength and they never see the collapse that was necessary to build it. And even if you think about it, you cannot become a grounded man without first hitting rock bottom. Howdy, my name is Nolan T. Painter. I'm an aspiring young man with aspirations greater than anyone will ever understand. In today's video, I'm talking about why you must fall as a man before you can become a good one. So first of all, well, in failure, there's a purpose of it. But in failure, you must realize there's two types. There's not achieving success, and there's giving up. We fail all the time with regards to not achieving the thing we want. We sleep in a bit too much, we don't get the grades we want, people laugh at us, whatever it is. But ultimate failure, true failure, is giving up. True failure is taking all of that, putting it together, and deciding you don't want to do it anymore. But that's not how it works. Because failure exposes who you really are, and not who you need to pretend to be. Failure shows us what's necessary to build, where we need to improve. And if we want to be this perfect man, then failure exposes what we're lacking. And when you fall, the truth is excuses die and character redemption starts. There's no excuses when you fail. You just work on it. And failing forces you to see the difference between who you are and who you wish to be. And you meet your final self at your lowest moments, not your highest ones. Because when you're all happy, you're not concerned with what you need to work on. But when you have nothing left to lose, all you have left is to gain. Additionally, you learn humility. Being humble is necessary if you want to be a good man, because a man who's never fallen is oftentimes arrogant, delusional, or sheltered. He can't fully appreciate how beautiful everything he has. How can I appreciate the beauty and the necessity of a really good woman in my life if I never lost the one that I cared about so much? And humility isn't softness, but it's facing reality. It's being gentle with those because you know it to be true. And you become humble when you fall, when you reflect, and then when you choose to rise. Especially when you fail and you choose forgiveness for those who persecuted you. And a humble man becomes trustworthy because he knows the weight of his pain and he never wants to cause it. If you have gone through some of the worst pain, you would never wish to share it to others. So needless to say, people would have an admiration for you. So in your pain, you cannot lash out, which sucks, but it'll teach you to be humble. And falling also builds your emotional strength. You learn emotional control by being overwhelmed and choosing not to break. By being overwhelmed again and again and again, you get stronger. It's like a pain tolerance. If you went through the worst pain imaginable and were fine with it, it'd be pretty easy to go to class in the morning, pretty easy to wake up early, pretty easy to eat the right meals, pretty easy to go to the gym, because you've already done the worst of the worst, and that wasn't so bad. So failure is necessary. And if you knew you only needed to fail 30 more times before you got the girl of your dreams or the $1 million, you'd fail again and again and again because you knew only a certain amount of failures were necessary to achieve the thing you wanted. But of course, emotional strength isn't built in comfort, it's built in chaos. When you're comfortable, you crumble, you're useless, and you cry as soon as the slightest bad thing happens. But when you're built in chaos, when you're living in the trenches, you could support anyone anywhere. Because there's a difference between holding it in and holding it together. And failing teaches you to feel without being rude, right? Or without being ruled by your feeling. It teaches you as a man that you're able to feel and experience emotion without letting it be your entire personality. And additionally, with your emotion, failure shapes your discipline. Because when life crushes you, two things become clear. Well, first of all, discipline is the only way out. You gotta lock in and fix it because no one else will. And discipline is the only way forward. So not only discipline is the way out of your bad habits, but it's the way forward into healthier habits. Because the man who gets up after failing becomes addicted to progress. And you can stop relying on motivation, but rather rely on your identity. And discipline will help you to craft an identity. Discipline will help you craft the identity that you wish to achieve. Identity being your character based on your actions. So if you're a video gamer, you're a gamer, that's what you are. If you're an Olympic runner, you're an Olympic runner, that's your identity. If you want to be a good man, you have to look at the fruits that come from a good man and start using your discipline to achieve them. And you stop relying on motivation, first of all, but second of all, you start relying on that identity. So you're no longer looking to get up in the morning and find that motivation to go do something. It's just a part of who you are, and it becomes easy. And failing forces you to rebuild yourself brick by brick, and that becomes your greatest strength. because oftentimes our foundation is what's lacking. It's our environment, it's our feelings, it's the way we think. But when we have a proper foundation, anything is possible. That's why some of the strongest kids are oftentimes taught by the best of parents, because they had that right foundation. So you need to rebuild you need to rebuild from rock bottom up. And a man who's never suffered, right? A man who's never suffered cannot understand compassion, because how does falling make you a better man for a woman? How does falling make you safer? Well, a man who's suffered deeply understands the emotional storms, and oftentimes can be grounded and is safe. Think about it. You're a pole in the middle of the ocean. You're rooted in the center of the earth, and you're coming out, and you're struck by waves, you're hit by lightning. But the truth is, no matter how many times you're hit, you will ever stand. You will forever be there. So that man is necessary to take the storms for his partner. But if you're not weather tested, and if you're not able to withstand the storms, then you're a bad man. But a good woman can feel the difference. She can sense a man who's fallen and risen, rather than a man who's just stayed constant. And pain softens your edges, right? The same way sandpaper, melts wood down to a point where it's no longer coarse and rough, but it's soft and smooth. Pain softens you. It sharpens your awareness, but it deepens your love. And a man who's fallen becomes more capable of protecting. He becomes more capable of calming and understanding a woman's emotions, which is necessary to be a good man. And additionally, falling creates a future you can carry. Because if you can't carry your present now, well, then you might as well work hard to carry your future. And if life gives you everything too early, you collapse under weight. Think about it. If you had a 6-year-old son, would you give him keys to a brand new car? You wouldn't. It doesn't matter if it's his right or not, he can't drive it. So why would God give you the blessings that you can't handle right now? So if you're given everything too early, you'll collapse under the weight. Just as a 6-year-old can't drive the car, you probably can't handle a woman right now, or you probably can't handle the money right now. So failing teaches you to carry responsibility without breaking, right? When you're given the money, you'll know how to invest into it. When you're given the woman, you'll know how to treat her. And your failure becomes the foundation that your future stands on. Stability comes from weathering storms, not avoiding them. And when falling, right? Falling means you're on the right path. Because the moment you choose to improve your life, that's when you're tested. And when you pass these tests, you're certified to be a better man. So resistance means you're changing. If it's not hard, you're not doing the right thing. If it's not difficult, you clearly don't want it enough. So you're not failing because you're weak. You're failing because you're shedding your identity. You're becoming this new man. And the fall is the proof that you are in motion. The difficulty is the proof that what you're doing is hard enough to be something you want. And overall, you got to view falling as your training ground. Falling is this necessary rite of passage as a man. That doesn't mean you need to lose everything right away, but it does have to suck. And every collapse taught you needed something better. Every heartbreak made you stronger for a future woman. And every failure focused you to have clearer intentions. Because when you fall as a man, your dream cannot be built any other way. And you don't become this amazing man by avoiding hardships. You become one by surviving it. You become a good man by persevering the storm and taking everyone behind you with it and leading them, charging them through the storm and adversity of life. My name is Nolan T. Painter. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.